Hi, I'm Madison and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 5 marriage of convenience romances for you. So, we love fake engagements, fake marriages, marriage of conveniences. They are just, there's always that one scene where he goes, "Don't touch my wife," and it's like, oh yes, possessiveness. We live for that. So today I've got 5 recommendations for you. This is obviously not extensive. There are way more than these out there, but I thought I'd give you 5 for now. First things first is one I don't see enough people talk about, and that is The Marriage Effect by Karla Sorenson. This is book 3 in the Washington Wool series, but they can all be read as standalone books, I promise you. So you're following Logan and Paige. Now Logan is on the Washington Wool's football team. He is also currently the guardian for his I think it's like 4 or 5 younger sisters, and Paige is a supermodel. Her best friend is the owner of the Washington Wool's football team. Now Logan is on the brink of potentially losing custody, guardianship of his 5 younger sisters to his brother, and the reason for this is because he's always traveling for football, that everyone's like, you don't have enough time to actually look after the girls. So he needs either somehow a fake girlfriend or a fake wife or something so that he is able to, you know, convince the courts that he is stable. And for Paige, she's just found out that her aunt passed away and left her a sizable inheritance, but she cannot access the inheritance unless she is engaged. And if she does not actually do this, the inheritance will get passed to someone else who would be someone really shitty. So she's like, oh no, not letting that happen. So the 2 of them end up agreeing to fake get married. Well, they get legit married, but to be fake husband and wife in order to both like help each other out. And it's their romance. He is so grumpy. He is like one of the grumpiest grumps you'll meet in your entire life. He's like, he agrees his fake marriage, but is also like so reluctant about it, and is just so bitter. And it is the funniest shit because Paige is such sunshine. She's like living her life. She's amazing. She's also such an amazing like just role model for the girls as well. And you know, obviously she has to try and figure out kind of what her role is with his younger sisters, and kind of like how does she kind of take on like a paternal role for these 5 young girls that she's never had to do in her entire life. And so they're definitely like trying to navigate a lot of different things in their lives. But I think it's so funny because he is so set on like not having anything like romantic go on between them like during the span of like their fake marriage, but she's this hot AF supermodel, bro, and he is suffering at every corner. It is so much fun. It's also super short, so I definitely recommend this. We then have A Chance for Us by Corinne Michaels. This follows Maren and Oliver. Now Maren, her dad's dying, so trigger warning in this for death of a loved one and for cancer, but Maren's dad is dying and his final wish is basically to, you know, walk her down the aisle. Maren has been dating a guy for a couple weeks now, and when that guy hears about this, he proposes. And so Maren has literally been in a relationship for probably like 2 months now and is about to get married. Of course, on the day before the wedding, the fiancé calls and says, "I can't do this, I'm backing out." Maren is livid. And so what does Maren do? Well, you see, her fiancé's name was Oliver, and the guy who runs the resort, his name is also Oliver. So Maren decides to go to Oliver, who owns the resort, and says, "Will you marry me?" Now keep in mind, Oliver and Maren do know each other. They went to college together, and Maren's best friend is actually Oliver's ex. So off the bat, Oliver says no. He's like, "I'm not doing this. This is crazy. Just tell people, like, you don't need to have a whole ruse." But Maren is dead set. She's like, "I can't do this. Like, my dad is literally going to be dying soon. He thought he was gonna walk me down the aisle. Please do this." So he ends up agreeing to get married to her, basically to like fulfill her dad's like dying wish. And they end up like having to like go on the honeymoon and do all these different things together because like it's all like part of it. It's absolutely hilarious. The back half of this is a little bit more emotional because of the fact of like, you know, her dad being ill and everything like that. But the very first half of this is just hilarious. It's also very spicy at the same time. Really great fake marriage. Very, very good one. There are Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this. This follows Declan and Iris. The Dreamland Billionaire series follows these 3 brothers who are billionaires and are set to inherit basically like the Disneyland conglomerate. But before they can inherit the Disneyland conglomerate, which is Dreamland, from their grandfather's will, they have to each fulfill a certain stipulation. And for Declan, his stipulation is that he has to get married and have a baby within a certain time frame. And he's running out of time. Like, he's literally gonna potentially lose his entire like inheritance and will because he can't find a wife. And his executive assistant, Iris, is the one who has been tasked with like finding his wife. for him. And on the very last day, like they're about to like have a whole engagement ceremony, like she's finally found someone, they've kept it like super under wraps. The girl goes, she runs away because Declan has scared her off again. So they're like, shit, what do we do now? Iris ends up being like, you know what, screw it, fuck it, whatever, fake marry me. I'll be your fake wife. We already hang out together every single day. I work for you. We're so close. I know everything about you. No one knows who you're going to get engaged to. We can say we kept it a secret because it was me and because of a conflict of interest. Let's go for it. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not happening. She goes, well, you know what? Too bad. I'm doing it anyway for you. So they end up getting fake married so that he can like fulfill his part of the will and everything like that. But there is like obviously a lot of strife between the two of them because she is his executive assistant. She knows about him and he's very cold and closed off, and he's not really that like into the whole idea of being married and doesn't really know what it means to like be open and like let someone in. And Iris is just such a strong, amazing, independent woman, and so they are clashing heads constantly, and so it's their romance. I really love this. I thought it had so many great topics of communication in it, and out of all like the books that are in this list that have like a third act breakup, this one really had the best one because I think it really showed the growth for our characters. It was definitely like a slow burn between them because they kept like denying their chemistry and denying that they were attracted to one another, but their like communication, everything like that was really interesting to see, and it definitely is also a workplace romance as well, and I love workplace romances, so yes. We then have Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. Now, when I tell you that this book starts off like no other, it starts off like no other. Margot is working at a company, doing her day-to-day job, then gets called into the boss's office, and she goes, oh, this is weird. I've never actually met like the boss of the company, like the guy coming down from corporate, this is strange. Walks into the room, sees Beckham, and is like, why is my ex-boyfriend's older brother here? Like, this is really weird. What the fuck? No. Beckham is like, you weren't answering my calls. And she goes, yeah, because I didn't want to talk about your brother, my ex. And he goes, that's not why I was calling. She goes, okay, like, what do you want? He goes, well, I was trying to talk to you so bad that I bought this company. And she goes, I'm sorry, what? He goes, yeah, I bought this company because you weren't picking up my phone calls. I had to find some way to talk to you. And she goes, oh my God, what the fuck? I died. As it turns out, Beckham is asking her to become his assistant, and then he wants to like weave a tale that they like fell in love with her like as his assistant and then getting engaged because he wants to get fake married to her. It is so funny because like they are such opposites. Like Beck is, you know, all about order and cleanliness and like being like organized and like knowing how things are going, and Margot is just chaos mess incarnate. So it is absolutely hilarious, but it's also kind of cute because Beckham has also always been in love with Margot. He always thought that like his younger brother was not good enough for her, that Margot was just so amazing, and so he's also using this as like an opportunity to like actually be with her for a chance and like get to know her, and oh my god, it's so good. They were phenomenal together. And then last but not least, we have got a Not So Meek You by Meghan Quinn. This follows Lottie and Huxley. Now Lottie needs money. Lottie has lost her job, her shit's in the sink, like she's just not doing too well. So what does Lottie go do? She goes, I'm gonna find myself a rich husband. So she leaves her house, goes into like the suburbs of Beverly Hills, and just starts walking around in the hopes that she'll somehow bump into a rich man in need of a wife. And lo and behold, that happens. She literally bumps into a billionaire in need of a wife. This is where Huxley comes in. Huxley is working in real estate and he's trying to get this broker this really big deal, but he's really struggling to connect with the guy and to get the guy to like get on his level. And the guy ends up being like, oh yeah, like my pregnant wife this, my pregnant wife that. Huxley realizes this guy's a huge family man, so Huxley says, oh, you have a pregnant wife? What a coincidence. I have a pregnant fiance. He goes, really? I'd love to meet her, all this kind of stuff. Huxley's like, yes, bomb, finally made a connection with this guy. Oh shit, I don't have a pregnant fiance. What do I do? So obviously when he meets Lottie, the two of them end up striking up a bargain where she will be his fake pregnant fiance, and he will basically, you know, pay off her debts and give her all this money and like all this extravagant shit. And it is their romance. She obviously moves in with him. They actually butt heads a lot right off the bat, and it took me a little while to actually get into this book because it takes them a while for them to like actually get to know each other and let each other in, and not just like be a contractual like marriage agreement. And I really loved like what they ended up doing was he would like allow her to ask him 2 questions a day, and whenever they would send those like 2 questions a day to like get to know each other, it was so cute, and I was really living for it. This was also just really easily bingeable, which I really appreciate about a lot of Meghan Quinn's books, is that her books are just very bingeable to get through. But this was really fun. It's also a Pretty Woman retelling as well, and it had such great like hilarious steamy moments in it that I was like rolling on the ground laughing. Like they ended up like having to go to like birthing classes with the other couple. Can you imagine go to a birthing class for your fake fiance? Absolutely priceless. It is so funny. So yeah, those are 5 fake marriage of convenience romances. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to click the like button. If you want to see more of me, please go to my channel, and don't forget to check me out over on TikTok and Instagram. And until next time, thanks so much everyone. Bye bye.